welcome to another exciting show of Community Essentials with all the hottest artists and the latest news happening right now.
Give me love that feels inspired. Wanna feel that burning fire.
Hello and welcome to another exciting segment of Community Essentials. I'm your dynamic host, Sakura, and today we have another great show for you. One of our regulars and one of my favorite guests, founder and executive director of the Answer Incorporated, Debra Vines. How you doing?
Hi, I'm fine. How are you?
Good, good.
Thank you so much for having me again. What is this, like the fifth time?
This is the fifth, and we're going to keep it going.
I'm so excited to be here. I have a lot to share.
We are very glad to have you here. And as always, from the top, we want to go ahead and just start and just tell people the Answer Incorporated.
Well, the Answer Incorporated is an organization that my husband and I started in the year 2007 because we have a son, Jason, who's 27 years old now. He has autism. And in the community that we lived in, the resources were very, very limited. And, you know, I just got tired of talking about it and decided to do something about it. So in 2007 of September, we started the Answer Incorporated. And the Answer Incorporated is dedicated, our mission is that we're dedicated to provide support, resources, education, recreation, and advocacy for families impacted by autism and developmental disorders.
Now, you're doing a whole lot of wonderful things, and just one I'll mention just starting off is Special Olympics. Tell us about that event.
Well, the Special Olympics is an organization that's been around for a very long time. Unfortunately, we do not do Special Olympics. We just partner with them. A lot of the families that we service participate in Special Olympics, and we're so grateful for them paving the way for our community of people, and not just impacted by developmental disorders, mental disorders, physical disorders, across the board. So I want to give a big shout out to the Special Olympics. But on the recreational side of the Answer Incorporated, it started out with dances. I took my son to a dance, I think he was maybe about 14 or 15 years old, and it was in the basement of a church.
Yeah.
And it was just so smug and dirty, and I think they had maybe a couple of CDs and some cookies and hot punch. And when I started the Answer, I said, that's going to be one of the first things I do because I want them to feel like rock stars, who they are. Because our kids don't get the opportunity to go outside and play. A lot of them don't have friends, and they just not involved in a lot of other activities outside of things like Special Olympics or recreational programs that are at the park. So when we have our dances, I just like for them to be special. We actually have one coming up.
Dance Fever.
Dance Fever, and it's actually going to be on June 6th at the Broadview Park District from 5 p.m. to 9. And we usually have somewhere between 150, 200 participants that come out, and sometimes the family members, they drop them off if they, you know, don't require a lot of attention, and they just have a good time. Yeah.
Well, I can just imagine y'all having a ball in there.
Oh my God! You know, one family member, she said she had never seen her son dance before, and I think he was like 17 years old. She said the look that was on his face, and it's just really a beautiful event. You should come out one time.
Absolutely. I remember the last time I was there, I know Michael Jackson got the most reaction.
Oh yeah, they love Rico, love Rico Michael Jackson. They love him, and I think it was a couple of times we had a dance, and the first thing he said is, "Michael gonna be here? Is Michael?" I was like, "Tell him Michael yet?" But that's just one of the things that we do. You know, we want to be able to service the families all across the board by way of everything that's within our mission. But again, because the resources are so limited in our community and funding is so limited, we are a pebble in a big sea of sand, but we're doing a whole lot for the families.
Absolutely, and those pebbles make huge ripples.
They do.
And one ripple in particularly is the support you do for moms.
Yes.
And particularly the moms of the Midwest.
Yes, that's another event we have coming up. But to segue into that, I'd like to talk about the support groups that we have every month. The Answer started with just a support group, with just a few women. We just got together and we're just talking about some of the needs that we needed for ourselves and to be able to help our children. So we started inviting speakers in to talk about behavior therapies and all the different things that we needed, not for just our children, but for ourselves too. We've had therapists come in to talk about our well-being, to make sure that we are really well to take care of our children. And we've had a support group meeting every month since 2007. I think we missed one meeting, and that's because the facility that we were at, they had some type of flood or something, but we have had a meeting every single month. And so, I got this great idea. I have these visions all the time.
Tell us about it.
I have these visions all the time, and but this is a vision I've been having for a long time. And special needs moms, we don't get the opportunity to get pampered or people to just honor us for the day. We always got to drag our kids to events, or we're with our husbands or significant others. And so I just want to do something to honor the women and their caregivers that take care of special needs kids, and also our supporters, because a lot of us do have great support systems. We have our friends, we have our co-workers, people that just love on us and keep us going. So I came up with this idea, and it's called Special Needs Moms of the Midwest.
Love it.
Yeah, it just came to me, Moms of the Midwest, because I communicate with a lot of women that live in Indiana, Indianapolis, Milwaukee, a lot of special needs families. It's all over the country, but primarily within the Midwest. And so they're going to drive up just for this special brunch we're going to have. It's going to be August 9th at the Meal of the Day. The tickets are $25. And it's a minimum fee, but for what they're going to get, it's just going to be amazing. We're going to feed them. We're going to give them gifts. We're just going to love on them that day. Just love on them.
Amazing. And some of the things that go on at events like that are designed particularly for the mothers, you're going to get a lot of support. You're going to get a lot of warmth. You're going to get a lot of, you too?
Right.
I do that,
Exactly, because, sometimes when I'm in the store, the grocery store, just out in the community, and before I say that, one thing that I can really recognize since we started the Answer Incorporated is that a lot of families are starting to bring their kids out, their adult children out. And a lot of people, they just keep their kids in the house, because they have meltdowns and the shame, the blame, the guilt, and they just don't want to be bothered, with the community looking at them like they're a big eyesore. Yeah. But we have empowered these families so much that they just deal with it now. Not only dealing with it internally, but dealing with it externally by educating the community. Because speaking for me personally, I used to get upset when somebody would look at my son when he would do things with his hands and things like that. I would just get really upset. So now I tell them, well, my son has autism. You know what autism is? And let me explain it to you. I've actually gotten a lot of volunteers just from starting that conversation, starting that dialogue with them, because people don't know how to approach you. Sometimes they want to ask. Sometimes they're uncomfortable because people are uncomfortable with what they don't understand, what they are not educated on. So that's one thing that we just really are grateful for, that the community is just coming out and just wanting to see what autism is all about.
And that's one of the great things about just kind of breaking that little ice barrier.
Absolutely.
Once you say something, then, they feel, a little more prompted to respond in a, more welcome way. And, they learn about it. You educate them.
Exactly. That's one big component of the answer is advocacy and awareness. We just had a big walkathon at Proviso East High School May 3rd. It's our annual walkathon. And we raise money. We have the event for awareness, number one. Number two is to raise funds to sponsor children and adults to special needs camp, horseback riding camp. It's called White Pines Horseback Riding Camp, and we partner with the Special Camps for Special Citizens. And this year, I think we're sponsoring 23 young people and adults for an entire week. The first session, I think, is June 7th, and they'll be gone for an entire week, and then the second session starts. And this is an opportunity not just for them, but again, for that rest for the families. They can go on vacation, they can stay home, they can just do nothing if they want to. But, a lot of us, we just don't get that opportunity just to be.
Right.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, support in the home, tell us about the Autism Home Support System.
Yeah, the Autism Home Support System is an educational program that we've, in the infancy stages of developing to give all the families the supportive systems that they need, like referrals. Well, we're not developing it, we're actually doing it. Like referrals, say for instance, a family calls into the answer, and our number is a 24-hour number. They call in, and we don't have clinicians, but we do try to get the families to one of the partners that we are with. We're one of the partners of agencies of 16 partners through the Autism Program of Illinois. And that's actually one of our funders as well. We are so grateful for the Autism Program. And it's a lot of different partners within that group. And if we can't find anything within that group, we go outside of the group and find them what they need. Because, unfortunately, when Jason was diagnosed, it was 1 in 1,000. Now it's 1 in 55 that are being diagnosed. But the good part about that is that there are more resources available, more laws that are being passed for insurances and things like that. You know, they still have a long way to go. The state of Illinois is a long way to go, but we have a lot of people fighting for us, especially, you know, I can speak for my legislators, you know, Senator Lightford and Representative Ford, Representative Welch, Representative Lilly, even Recorder Deeds, Karen Yarbrough. They are so supportive to our agency, and I'm just so grateful for them.
Now, the difference between when you lack that particular support and then now having that support, tell us about the difference that that type of support makes.
Well, first of all, you feel totally alone when you don't have support. It's like you're hungry and you go to the grocery store and they don't have any food there. A family needs to be fed to not just to be able to get their kid where they need to be, but to get themselves where they need to be as well. It's a lot of supportive services out there now, but the answer is we are really servicing a lot of families. We get, I would say, on the average of about 15 phone calls a week. And then we have the television show that comes on once a month on CAN TV. We have a resource center in the Broadview Library. It's the first one within the Proviso Township. We're very excited about that. We partner again with the Autism Program of Illinois, and it's a ton of resources within that center of the library. So if a family or someone needs some information about autism or developmental disorders, they can go right. They don't have to punch up the catalog and see what aisle they're in. It's a nice little sign that says the Answer Inc. Autism Resource Room. So it just makes sense.
Now, how is Jason? Every time I see him, he's smiling. And the last time I saw him with a pretty young lady. So tell us about that.
Jason is amazing. He is just doing really well. You know, when Jason was first diagnosed, the doctor says, well, he has what you call low functioning autism. So he probably will never communicate with you. At that time, they diagnosed him with mild cerebral palsy as well. So he had difficulty walking, but now Jason is running. He's having limited conversation, but he knows how to communicate in his own way. He is such a joy, such a joy. We actually just came from a trip. He took his second airplane ride, and that was really something. But yeah, Jason's doing great. Thanks for asking.
That's amazing. He's a blessing. And speaking of blessings, you've been doing some work with the I Am Who I Am Foundation?
Yes, yes. They had a parade, actually this past Saturday for Memorial Day. And the wonderful Miss Holly Simon, she is just amazing. We're going to do some things together. But I wanted to go out and support an agency that was just way on the other side of town. They're on the south side of Chicago, like Oakland area. And I just wanted to go in. She reached out to me on Facebook, wonderful Facebook. And yeah, we just been communicating. So she invited us to come out, and Jason and I walked in the rain. It was raining, and we walked in the rain. But it was just beautiful because you saw all the looks on all the kids' faces. And it was just great. It's the first time I actually did a parade in the rain. It was good, but yeah, we are really working a lot. We just graduated our third class for Saturday University. Saturday University is a tutoring program, and I'm so grateful for this program. We partner with the Black Star Project and Senator Lightford. In this program, we teach reading, writing, and math. Those three subjects, because a lot of our participants, when they age out of school, their reading, writing, and math skills are so limited that they can't even really sign their little checks that they get from their day programs. They don't have the concept of counting money when they go to the store, even with their parents. And just say, for instance, Jason didn't even have the concept of writing his name, and now he can write his name. He knows what money is now, and he's been in school all his life, but just from this program, we're getting that one-on-one tutoring, and we have some amazing tutors. Linda Puckett and Miss Etta Martin. They are amazing. So we're hoping to get some funding so we can expand that program as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, you're partnering with a lot of great people, doing a lot of excellent things, really shaking and moving, doing wonderful things. Now, people who are watching this right now, they may think to themselves, you know, like, how can I support? Like, what can I do? What do I have to offer to the Answer Incorporated?
Well, we have volunteer opportunities. You can go to our website at www.theanswerinc.org. There, if you want to donate, there's a donate button. There's actually a GoFundMe page out there for us. And we have several programs that they can donate to, or just donate to keep our doors open. We accept donations in the form of gift cards for our events, because at our events we do raffles. Anything that you want to donate, we will accept it.
And their physicality, what type of support can they, because they may say, well, I want to, I want to come and I want to, I want to show how much I care or what I can offer. I teach, or, I play music, or, I clean houses. What could I possibly do? Do you accept things of that nature as well?
It's a lot of different areas that people can volunteer. We have a lot of events, like say for instance our walkathon, we had about maybe 20 volunteers. We even had students from I think Proviso East and West that came out to get community service hours.
Right.
They came out, some of the family members came out. So even a person that does play music, again at our events, they can come and just do the entertainment. We even would take some clinician volunteers, across the board. Just go to the website, fill out the application, let's talk.
That's amazing. You're doing so many wonderful things, and every time I see you, I was like, how does she even have time, to stop for a minute? Because you're always going and always doing something, staying busy.
It's called passion.
Absolutely.
It's called passion. My husband says the same thing, but I get these visions.
Yeah. You got to act. You get that fire in your belly. You got to move on.
And I have to get them out. I just feel like, I'm so blessed. I feel that God blessed me with Jason, and for a very long time, and sometimes even now it's even challenging for me because again I am a parent. I'm an advocate, but I'm a parent, and just watching him go through the difficulties and the challenges that he has to go through, but it's even more taxing on me because I have to watch it, and some things I can't help him on.
Right.
But I feel so blessed that God has given me Jason and even the Northall to even be able to help other families go through this journey, because it's not an easy journey, but it's one that's definitely trying for the it's definitely trying, but it's amazing. It's something different every day. Truly.
Now I could definitely understand that, and I certainly believe that it's different every day. Now, for people who are just, I guess, wanting to know more about what your day is like, just break it down real simple, like in the morning this happens and then that happens, so they can just kind of get, because, you're active, you're doing everything, but sometimes, just to see the smaller things that you do really give people a perspective.
A day in the life of?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, I have to give an acknowledgement to my husband, because I could not do everything that I do if it wasn't for him by my side, being my partner and assistant, with things, just even with Jason and the business. But he gets Jason up in the morning, I'm going to the gym.
Yeah.
He gets him up in the morning, he gets him ready for his day program, and that's something that we kind of switched, because I did it for so very long, because he worked second and third shift. So since he started working first shift, I said, okay, you can have the next 20 years. And he gets Jason off to school, and I'm at the gym, I come back home, then I take him to his day program. After I drop him off his day program, my day starts until 2:30, going back to pick him up, drop him off at home, and then I'm working again until I get done. But he's with Dad. So thankfully he works first shift so that he can kind of do a lot of the primary duties for Jason now. But the first 20 years of Jason's life, it was me. And so now, he's really happy that he has this opportunity to really bond with Jason. And speaking of my husband, he has a support group.
Yes.
It's called Just for Men, and they meet the second Saturday of every month. And this month in June, I think it's the 13th, they're partnering with the Maywood Park District and trustee Melvin Lightford.
Okay.
They're going fishing. They're going on a fishing trip. Yeah, so I think it's going to be a great experience, not just for the special needs children and adults, but they're mainstreaming them with the Maywood children and young adults. So it'll be an opportunity for the typical children to interact with our kids, because they don't know any better. And sometimes, it might be a funny situation in them, or some of them might even be scared, but at the rate that autism and other developmental disabilities are growing, the community has to be educated. They need to know how to interact with us.
Exactly.
Because it's unfortunate, but it's more people being diagnosed every day. So I've met some amazing parents and some amazing partners in the community, and a lot of people, they see me on Facebook and they are encouraging, because I do work hard. I really do. Our board of directors for the Answer Corporated is just amazing. Whatever vision I come up with, they just try to make it happen. They do. And we have our gala coming up.
Okay.
It's September 13th, and it's going to be in a new venue. It's going to be at the Carlisle in Lombard. No, it's Yorktown, in Yorktown. That event is our biggest fundraiser of the year. The theme is going to be Masquerade for Autism. It's going to be a ball, Masquerade ball. And we're going to have the mask, and it's going to be great. We're going to have a photo booth, and our entertainment is Ultimate Concept. Great band, great band. We're going to have a comedian. I'm not quite sure who it's going to be, but we're going to have a comedian.
That's
so it's
good.
going to be a lot of fun. And one of our programs called the Music and Me Exercise and Dance Program, they're going to perform.
Okay.
It's our autistic adults. They have an exercise and dance program, so they will be one of the performers for the evening.
Now, that's one thing I love about every time you throw your events. You always have great music, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You have great snacks, you know, anything they could want to just really let themselves go and enjoy themselves and they'll be entertained. So
Yeah.
that's great.
They have to because, again, like I said, the special needs community is a community that's always last on the list. You know, you have so many causes out there, and I'm not minimizing any of them because they are causes and they are near and dear to people's heart, but the special needs community is one that's on the bottom of the list for everybody except when it affects you. And I think about all causes. You know, gratefully and fortunately, I haven't had leukemia or cancer or HIV or high-risk teens or any of that hit my home personally, but I do support it. I sit on several committees. I'm on Senator Lightfoot's Women's Committee, and we have several different components that we do within that committee that, you know, helps the youth, that helps prostrate cancer, that helps a lot of things. So I do other things outside of the Answer Incorporated, but I just want to serve the community.
Right.
I'm a community servant.
That's always good. And it's always a blessing to just have a serve attitude, an attitude to serve others and help others.
You know, and that's one thing. I want to be an example for other people. It's 24 hours in a day, and you could take one of those hours a couple of times a week to help somebody, even if it's a phone call or an email or a Facebook, and just send somebody a message, because believe you me, if you don't have someone in your family directly impacted by autism or developmental disorder, it's somebody that lives on your block, somebody that goes to your church, somebody that your friend of a friend of a friend, somebody knows somebody that has autism or some type of special need. And I just ask people just to reach out to them and give them some love. That's it.
Absolutely. Got to have that love. And speaking of love, loving them shoes.
You like those shoes?
I love those shoes. And let me tell you particularly why, because within those shoes, your feet obviously, and a testimony with that. Tell us about it.
It's a testimony. It was actually 4 years ago, right before the walkathon. I was coming down the steps, getting ready to go to an event, and I fell and broke my foot in 12 places. And the doctor said that I would never wear heels again, and here I am.
Boom.
In heels, and I'm grateful for that, because I couldn't even get around for a long time. Not as fast as I would like to, but I'm back full speed with my Superwoman cape on, advocacy, big A on the front for autism, and let's go.
There you go. Let's go.
Let's go. But yeah, we have a lot going on. We've done a lot in the year 2014, coming into 15, even with the challenges of the budget, the state budget, our new governor. It's been quite challenging. You know, he is a businessman, and he has to do what he has to do, and I understand that it's always a cut somewhere. I just hope that we're not cut out. Even if we're cut down, I hope that we're not cut out. And even if we're cut out, I just hope that the community steps up just to keep a lot of doors open that's doing fantastic work. Because even the thought that a lot of agencies' doors would close. Say, for instance, you have a child with a disability and they're getting right to the edge of their breakthrough. They can't afford to pay for services, but this agency is open as being able to give them free services. And that agency closes, and your child is right there about to get that breakthrough.
Yeah.
What if they close? It's like you're right there getting ready to get that drink of water, and you're so thirsty.
Right.
And that water gets taken away, and your mouth is dry again.
Right.
Okay, that kid cannot, a lot of times it's regression, because with children and adults with autism, you have to teach repetitiveness. Everything has to be the same. You can't divert in a lot of ways from things. So when you take those services away, it's not only affecting the child with autism, it's affecting the entire family, because a lot of these families have other siblings, and the mother has to give that special needs child the most attention, and then that service gets taken away, and so what happens? The other siblings everything is getting off balance. And then people are losing their jobs. So, you know, it's going to be cuts, and it's going to be tight, but again, I'm just hoping that the community will come together and let's just work this thing out.
Absolutely. Now, you've overcome many of things and, you've gained testimonies from it. Tell us what inspires you to just keep doing what you do.
When I get the stories, when I get the phone calls, when I get the emails, the thank yous, the things that the parents say, what they've overcome since they became a part of the answer, or just the resource that I sent them to. Because it's days that I say, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. And I get that phone call that just gives me that spark. And then just looking at my son, he's come such a long way that I don't have to really do a lot of focusing on him. I can focus on somebody that was going through the challenges he was going through 10, 12 years ago with the behavior and things like that. I can focus on them. So that's what keeps me going, is the families, the testimonies, the thank yous, the phone calls,
Absolutely, and that's very important that you mention that, because a lot of times we come to a lot of challenges and things like that, but when we get there, sometimes we just want to look up or just ask God to take it all away, but God gives us life as we overcome. So as we meet that challenge and push through it, then His power comes.
Oh, and someone told me today, they said, you are so blessed. I said, it's better to be a blessing than it is to be blessed. To be a blessing to somebody, because if you're a blessing to somebody, you're automatically blessed.
Amen.
To help somebody is the best feeling in the world. To know that you have made somebody else's life better is the best feeling in the world. Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to cut this any shorter, but I've got to bring it to a close, and time always flies by when I'm talking to you, because I enjoy talking with you and I have so much fun with you. So I want to, again, just kind of hit those points real quickly about your current event as far as what's happening now.
Okay.
I think that's Dance Fever.
Yeah, Dance Fever is June 6th, 5 to 9 at the Broadview Park District, and all of this is on our website. We have the Mothers of the Midwest Brunch, and that's August 9th. And then we have our gala, which is September 13th. But every single month, on the fourth Monday of every month, we have our support group meeting. The second Saturday of every month, we have the Just for Men. And our number is a 24-hour number, which is 708-296-5651.
Absolutely. And once again, I want to thank you so much.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Always.
Thank you for joining us here. And anything that we can do, let us know, and we will continue to have you on.
We just thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. And we want to thank each and every last one of you, as always, for watching right here on Community Essentials, where we always bring the essential community news to you.